Hi, I'm Ben Canning, and this video is on spreadsheets. Right now we're calling this activity 6.3, but it may have changed in number. Regardless, it should still be called Spreadsheet Practice or Spreadsheet Intro. And this video is, surprise, going to be on an introduction to spreadsheets. We are currently looking at a spreadsheet. This one happens to be a Google sheet, but you could also be using Excel or Apple's Numbers or various other ones that are out there. We use Google's version just because it's online and free. Um, but what we're looking at here is a bunch of different boxes, and each of these boxes is in fact its very own calculator. So for example, if I typed in 5 and then times 40, it would do that calculation for me, which is pretty cool. Maybe not just for that, but because it means if you need to do a bunch of different calculations for data processing, you can do them very, very quickly. So for example, if you had 50 different distances and 50 different times and you wanted to do all of the speeds, you would have to plug that into your own calculator number after number, and it might take you a few minutes or a few hours. With a spreadsheet, if the data is already in the spreadsheet, it would take you 10 seconds. And if it was 500 distances and times, if it's already in the spreadsheet, it would still only take you 10 seconds. So it's pretty quick and pretty powerful. And today we're going to start with this first video in the series on a trick called fill down. Now, filling down is a trick so that if you, for example, had data that you needed to enter and it's very simple data, you could do it very quickly without having to type it in yourself. So, for example, if I had the number 5 and I wanted to repeat it over and over, I could hit 5, enter, 5, enter, 5, enter, 5, enter, 5, enter, but that takes a while and it's a little annoying to do. Instead, and you'll want to follow along at this point, instead, what we're going to do is we're going to click and drag to highlight those numbers, and then we are going to use this little blue square in the corner to drag down or fill down, and that fills down. Now, if you're having trouble highlighting, let me do that again. What you want to do is take your, preferably your left hand, but it could be the other hand. So you'll take one hand and you'll take its index finger and you'll click in the bottom corner of your trackpad to click on that cell. And then you'll use the other finger on the other hand, so your other index finger or pointer finger, to drag the cursor around, and that way you can highlight stuff. Now you'll just want to highlight those two cells and then you'll release. Once you've done that, then you can drag or fill down the fives. Now, spreadsheets don't just know how to repeat the same number. You could also repeat a pattern like counting up by ones, or counting up by negative ones, or counting down by one, or counting down by up by 0.1. You could also do two patterns at the same time, such as counting by days and counting or going by number. So if I highlight all 4 of those squares, that's its starter pattern. I can fill down and it will fill down. You could also scroll down a little bit. You could also do times. It goes on a 24-hour time clock. It also recognizes the pattern of months. Now, if you use words, it just thinks you want to repeat those 2 words or whatever words over and over again, so that's what it's doing here. But if you have a word and a number, it'll actually count the number while keeping the word the same. And if you have a little bit of formatting, if like here we can see this box around it, highlight that whole box, and it will keep that formatting, such as the outlined boxes and the blank spaces in between. Same thing goes for over here. Go ahead and use your spreadsheet and go ahead and do that now. So go ahead and highlight each of those starter cells and then you'll fill down. When you finish with that, you can go over here to challenge number 1, where if you highlight these colors, you can fill both down and across and make a nice little rainbow flag. That's it for this video, so move on to the next video when you finish with this.